friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope that you're doing well. Today we're going to be talking about a new fragrance from the house of Givenchy, which is this one right here, Gentleman's Society Eau de Parfum Extreme. That's right, they named it Extreme, not Elixir. They're keeping that name tucked away into their back pocket or up their sleeve, and when we least expect it, they're gonna bust out the Elixir on us. It's gonna take everybody by surprise. Would have never seen that coming. Elixir, what? No way, what a surprise. For now though, we have the extreme version of Society, and that's what we're gonna talk about. So this one has been released in Europe now, so if you're over in Europe, I'm assuming that you can find this pretty easily. I saw it on a couple different websites over there, so good going. Europe usually gets all the fragrances first, and then eventually it makes its way over here to the discounters and retail stores and everything. In today's video, we're gonna do the usual. We're gonna go over the presentation here, take a closer look at it. I'll break down the fragrance a little bit, let you know what I think about it. This is a first impression. I got it in the mail earlier today, so keep that in mind. And I'll also let you know if it differs enough from this one, the original Society, to make this one a worthwhile pickup. So let's check it out. We'll start things off, as always, by taking a look at the presentation. And as you can tell by looking at them right here, pretty similar. So here we have the front of the box. You have the name of the fragrance, name of the house, size and concentration. Mine is a 100 ml size bottle. You have the logo of the house up top, nothing on the sides. On the back, you have a QR code. And on the bottom, you have your ingredients, your badge code, your barcode. My badge code is 3K01. And here is a look at the bottle. It looks pretty much identical to the original Society, other than the little logo on the front there is a darker coloration. You have the logo of the house up on top of the cap. You have a sticker on the bottom with your badge code, and the cap clicks into place. You also have the logo on top of the atomizer, and like the original Society, this is an absolute fingerprint magnet. The bottle looks good, looks really good. The paint on the inside of the bottle there makes it look modern, sleek, mysterious even. Looks nice, other than just those fingerprints. So you're gonna wanna keep a little microfiber cloth around so you can just polish that bad boy up, make it look like new. Much better. Actually, no, there's still a ton of fingerprints on there. Oh man. Now it's better. Let's do the usual thing we do and share a couple sprays. Check out the atomizer here. Pretty good. And let's go ahead and spray a couple of the original Society as well. The atomizer has changed a little bit from this bottle to that bottle. This one sprays a little bit easier, but the atomizer of the new one seems to spray a little bit more. Don't know if that's just with my bottles or if that's gonna be across the board. It's not really a big deal though at all. Before we start talking about this fragrance, I wanna plug my extra channel, Extra Gents Scents. If you want more fragrance content, check that one out. I do more reviews, lists, and other stuff over there that doesn't appear on this one. And as usual, here are some codes that you can use to save money at a bunch of different websites. Feel free to use those should you shop at any of those places. Okay. Let's start talking about how the new Society Extreme smells. So first things first, when you spray this on, it's going to remind you of the original Society. Pretty clearly, actually. When I sprayed this on for the first time, my immediate thought was, that is way too similar to Society. Like, not enough changed here. That was my immediate thought when it first hit my nose the first time I sprayed it. That being said, legitimately 10-15 seconds later, my thought process changed and I went, oh, this actually smells awesome. So it was a roller coaster ride there at first. So be aware that may happen to you as well, I guess. My wife, she picked out the iris immediately. The second I sprayed this on, she was like, oh, that has iris in it, I can tell. And it does, it's noticeable, which I love. I'm a big fan. Iris fragrances, I'm here for it. Pretty much in any shape, form, facet, smell, doesn't matter, I'm here for it. Anyway, the opening here, yes, it's going to remind you of the original Society. It is fresh, actually. You have a nice little mint pop there when you first spray this on. You have clary sage as well, which is going to tie it in a little bit with that original Society. And one of the things that helps make this one a bit different from the original is the coffee that you're going to find in the Extreme iteration. In the marketing write-ups for this, it was a dark iced coffee. So that's how they put it across here. And when I heard that, I thought it was gonna be really prominent. I mean, that would make sense, right? Dark iced coffee, and they specifically call out a Gentleman's Society Accord in this fragrance, which is a bunch of different vetiver notes, narcissus flower, the orris, and I really thought that it was going to be much bolder than it actually ended up being. Now, don't take that as a negative way. It's just I thought it was gonna be something that really had a push with that dark iced coffee. Instead, what you get is more of a reined-in coffee. It's decently sweet, and you can pick up the coffee note actually pretty early on. It's officially a mid-note, but you can pick it up within, 2 minutes of spraying this thing on. So if you go ahead and give yourself a couple sprays there on the wrist, let that settle for a second. You get initially fresh aromatics, a touch of sweetness, and then pretty quickly, that starts to settle down and you get that coffee that comes up underneath, but it's never a loud coffee note. For some people, that's gonna be a really good thing. For other people, they're gonna wish there was more of it. I find myself wishing there was a little more. The coffee is there. You can pick it up, but it's more a light, semi-sweet coffee. I wouldn't really call it dark. It doesn't come across roasted or anything like that. There's nothing potentially abrasive there. It's just a light, kind of sweet and easy wearing coffee note. The orris and the narcissus go together really well. It is, again, kind of a sweet floral aspect with those two working together. It gets a little powdery in the mid, not too powdery, but definitely enough that you can pick it up and you'll notice it. And even though there are a lot of woody notes in this fragrance, they say a quartet of vetivers, and then you also have cedar, sandalwood, and patchouli, I believe, as well in here. A lot of notes there that you would look at, and all of them being in this together, you would think, wow, that's gonna be a woody bomb. No, not really. I mean, it has woodiness that you can pick up, but it is nowhere near as heavy with the woods as you would expect just looking at that note breakdown. So this is one where you may look at the write-up, you may look at the note breakdown, and you may think, oh, it's gonna go this way or that way. I thought it was going to be, as I said, a lot darker than it actually is, a lot heavier than it actually is, because they darkened up the front of the bottle here. They call it extreme. They have all these heavy notes in there, or notes that you would think would be heavy, and then it actually smells quite similar to the original Society with an additional coffee aspect to it, a little more prominent with the iris in here, and yeah, a little more woodiness as it dries down, but not a huge amount of difference between what you find here. So essentially, even though in the write-up and everything, there's more of an emphasis on the vetiver and an emphasis on the cedar or the patchouli, it's still, at the end of the day, going to be a vanilla mix with those woods as it hits the dry down, with residual iris carrying over and narcissus as well, giving it that slight powdery touch, and the sweetness lingers through from the mid into the dry down as well. Of course, with that vanilla, that makes sense. Does it end up smelling drastically different from Gentleman's Society? Not really, no. It's decently similar, enough so that you're 100%, as I said in the opening, going to think, oh, this is quite close to this. As it dries, some of those differences come out, the coffee being probably the most noticeable, most prominent difference, and then that added emphasis on the orris here in the extreme. Between the two, I like extreme more, even though I do wish it had more coffee, and I do wish it was darker. I think that would actually make it a better fragrance. But again, that's just to my taste. There are gonna be people out there that say, no, as it is good. If it went darker, I wouldn't like it as much. Is it redundant to own this if you already own that? It gets close. Usually with flankers, there's enough of a difference where you'd be like, not really redundant. But with this one, it's like, I would definitely test it first to see if that additional dark iced coffee, if that Gentleman's Society Accord that they emphasize in this one uplifts it past what the original did for you. I would say that in terms of usability, you could use this about any time. I think winter, spring, fall pretty easily. Summer you could wear it as well because it's not too heavy. It does have more of a sweet lean to it than it does a fresh lean. It's a little fresh off the top, but it pretty quickly segs out of that, but I still think you could pull it off during the summer, and I think you could wear it during the day or the evening. So this could be, for a lot of people, a great kind of Swiss Army knife, anytime fragrance, signature scent even. It does have a nice classiness to it, as you would expect from a gentleman fragrance. It pulls that off really well. I can't speak to performance on this one yet. It just came in earlier today, so I can't really tell you guys, oh, it lasts a really long time or whatever, because I've been basically, you know, spraying it on, letting it dry down, and once it hits the dry down, spray it on again in a different spot, you know, do that whole song and dance again. So I really can't give you an estimate on any of that stuff right now, because it's just not conducive to that, what I've been doing today wearing it. That sounds a little strange, but you know what I mean. The things I've been doing aren't conducive to that. I've been doing some different kinds of experiments.
New experience, it's great.
On the whole, I think this stuff smells very, very good. I love the opening here. I think the opening is sick. That freshness and then the quick transition from the aromatics, you know, really hitting your nose at first, and then it kind of settles quickly and you get that coffee that comes up. It's just, I wish, like I said a few times, the coffee had more punch to it. I was really expecting that. I was looking forward to that. And instead, it's like it starts to make itself known. It's like, hey guys, it's me, the coffee. And you're like, oh yeah, come in. And then it's like, nah, I'm good back here, actually, thanks. It's good seeing you, man. You look great. I'll see myself out. And then you're like, no. That's how the coffee is in this one for me. It's like, you can smell it. You can smell it creeping up, and you're like, oh, that smells good. Where's it going?
Where did it go? Where is it?
Thankfully, that iris in here smells nice, smells good. It's got that right touch of sweetness that helps offset the powder a little bit. The powder's still there, but like I said before, not too much. The sweetness helps a lot. The Narcissus blends together very well. That's going to remind you, of course, of the original Society also, because it was very prominent here. It's still very prominent here. The vanilla and the woods and the dry down, pleasant also. That's another thing. I do wish they were ramped up, but I'll take it. And even though I just said that it smells fantastic to me, and it does, I really enjoy the way this smells. It is not far enough away from here that I can give it like an A+, because it's one of those deals where they went, hey, this is pretty good. What if we just tweak that, tweak that, tweak that? Done.
Just a little tweaking.
So if you were looking for a total overhaul or something that was like, you know, this is the daytime scent, this is the nighttime scent, and it's very clearly done that way, you may be a little disappointed, because this one, it's not a huge difference. But the little tweaks in here, the little changes, I appreciate. So it sounds like kind of a mixed bag. It's really not, though. It smells great. It's just, give me more coffee. I want more. I need caffeine. All right, guys, that will do it for me. Thanks for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. Like I said, this should be popping up in the US here pretty soon. If you're impatient, you can just Google it up and it will pull up where you can buy it in Europe and pay a whole bunch of money to get it shipped over here. That's usually what I do. Thank you, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Stay safe.